everybody. We have Spider-Man, and a little bit of Hawkeye. Coming to you now, Bryan, hit that. From 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Uptown Whittier. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 76. My name is Nick Valero.
This is Bryan.
Rene.
And welcome to the show.
Like he still had to go through it. He's like, I'm going through it. I'm not going to start alone.
Hey, good recovery, though.
Yeah,
It's like 76.
76.
Welcome back, guys.
man.
I've just come to terms I never know what episode it is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I've come to terms that I'm going to continuously make mistakes as production manager and be like,
I feel that once we reach over 100, it's going to be even harder to keep up.
Welcome to issue. I don't know.
You guys are watching it, so you know.
I literally just noticed in the shop that you guys have a pop collection of Pearl Jam.
That's for someone, but yeah.
Welcome back, listeners.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm Pearl Jam. We're not here to advertise Pearl Jam. We're here to advertise Keeping Up with the Nerds.
Oh, they don't know.
No, don't! And it's the three of us again, back like old times. After a hectic month of awesome guests, we get to finally chill, relax, talk about Spider-Mans and some Hawkeye. Some holiday news.
Hot guys, yeah.
Holiday
as well. Nick and I are both wearing holiday attire. Renee.
Technically holiday attire, because, like I said, it's a representing of what I'm not going to get this year for Christmas. So.
Even Nick was just like, he's just like, that's sad, dude.
I mean, can you get a PS5?
I don't know.
No one can.
Do you want one?
I want one. Yeah. The disc drive.
I know a guy.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I know a guy.
We'll talk after.
I know a guy. It might have fallen off a truck, but
That's fine.
What?
What
What about
Spider-Man. Speaking of Sony.
This is why your friends at GameStop.
So, real quick wrap up, guys. So, issues what? 71 to 75? 71, 72, 73, 74. No, 72, 73.
to 75.
It was the last 4 episodes.
So, 72 to 73.
73 to now.
Yeah.
No, 72 to now.
72, 73, 74, 75. Yes.
72 to 75.
Yes.
Which was a good month for us.
It was a busy month, dude.
It was. But it was, I don't want to say it was stressful, but it kept us on our toes. We were getting ready, you were writing skits and stuff like that. We were making sure that we had to do stuff, for our guests and stuff like that. So that was really good. It was really fun.
It was, yeah, you're right. Definitely right. Like, I wouldn't say...
It wasn't stressful.
It wasn't, like, no, there was some stress, a little bit. But I think...
That's your own problem.
That's something you got to fix.
That's you.
No, I wouldn't say... there's a little bit of stress that comes down to it because you got to make sure that your guests are all, like, comfortable and, that they show up and that's still game plan, but you also don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like, as a brand, as, like, the project that we've been running for almost, like, a year and a half at this point, like, I think it's the first time that we ever really committed to bringing people on...
For a week.
For a whole month. And then making sure that... we accommodated them to, what is necessary for them to be on here comfortably.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that technically we didn't really talk about nerd news for like a month.
It was a good month of just,
there was some nerd news. I mean, what?
We did the mini cast. That's why
we did mini casts, which the Ghostbusters review talk is going to be going up pretty soon. So by the time this is going up, we'll be talking about why reviewers are bombing that pretty hard.
Yeah.
That's coming up pretty soon. I didn't want to bombard people with like a bunch of different podcasts and stuff like that. It just doesn't help, the algorithm. Enjoy a little bit of like what we think about Ghostbusters, and then we'll talk about like I'll release stuff about what we talked about in terms of like how reviewers are not liking it. But yeah, we did. Sarah, when we had Sarah on, we talked a little bit about nerdy stuff. Eternals
for Steven and Lewis. We didn't talk about anything.
But you know what? I feel like it was a good kind of like side conversation because, you know, for our listeners, if you guys haven't listened to any of those issues, please go do so. Go support our guests.
Yeah.
Links are going to be on there. And then I will go ahead and actually, about the time this issue does come up, I'm going to send you a couple photos as well, Rene, so that way you can post on our Instagram showcasing everyone, and you can go ahead and link them on there as well. But yeah, Lewis and Steven, we did more of a motivational more motivational issues.
It was more of an interview.
Yeah.
They were more interviews than it was like they were guests on the actual podcast, because they fit in really nice. They had good energy, and they were just really easy to talk to. So that was really cool.
Yeah, it was great. Overall, a fun experience, and I hope that we can do it again next month, or not next month, next year.
Yes.
Sometime soon. You know, they're always welcomed as well. Steven, Sarah, CC, and Lewis. You guys, if you guys are listening to this issue, like, you guys are more than welcome to show up again. Just let us know whenever you guys want to collab again. More than happy to do so, because you guys were all amazing people, and the support that everyone's been giving to our guests and us over the last month as well. Thank you guys. You guys have been awesome with the downloads, with the comments, with the shares, with the likes, everything. We hear you guys. We know you guys are listening, and thank you guys for all that. We really do appreciate it, especially with how much we've been working over the last couple of months. Not to like brag about like all the things we're doing, but I honestly, like, if it wasn't for the commitment that we've had, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've been able to do so far, wouldn't be possible.
The analytics look nice right now.
They do. And thank you guys, because I know for a lot of content creators, they always talk about this. November through January, February is usually like super tough, because what do they call it? It's like advertisement hell or something like that, because they don't get a lot of views and stuff like that. Yeah. And for as small as we are, our analytics are looking really good. And you guys are doing awesome. Thank you guys. And if you guys like what we're putting out there, let us know. We will talk to you guys. We will communicate with you guys. There's a couple people already that have spoken to us over DMs on Instagram that are constantly letting us know what they think, and we respond to you guys. We hear you loud and clear. With that said, what is coming up this next month before we get into Spider-Man talk? So all the skits that we've been filmed. So if you guys don't know, all our guests did skits with us. Yeah. And that is coming up this month. So Sarah's is going to come up first, and CC's, Lewis, and finally ending with Steven. And I will say this. Every guest, it's so funny, because they're all like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to act. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
So hesitant.
And then immediately opens up.
The only one that I think was just like, yeah, I'm in, was Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis was the only.
Tell me what to do.
Lewis was the only one that was just like, I'll keep my mouth shut. Just tell me what to do. Where do you want to? Where do you want me to put me? And then we were like, oh, you sit right here. And he's like, okay, I'll sit over there.
He was on it. He was on it.
Yeah,
when
Lewis,
we were doing
Lewis
recording.
was really good.
He's like, okay, I'll stand up right here. Like, you guys, do you need me here? And no, he was.
He also had some good points too, where he was like, well, that doesn't make sense. If I walk around, I should walk over here. And I should do this. And he was doing really well. That was
Everyone opened up. And it was so great to see, because I felt like that was a good way to kind of get our guests to really be engaged with us and know that we're not going to like bite them or anything.
It's a good precursor for getting all of our energies together.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's kind of an issue with some podcasters, where it's like they bring a guest on and, maybe you don't. Yeah. It's like, oh, are we going to talk about anything?
Just sit down and just start recording.
Exactly. It's like, oh, how do I get into this and all this other stuff? And then, this was kind of like, this is what we do. We do it for fun. We have laughs. We enjoy what we're doing. And once we sit down in front of mics, like, it's just kind of free flow. Whatever comes into our mind. That's what we're going to talk about. And it was great. So, if you guys head over to our YouTube channel, Keeping Up with the Nerds, all those skits will be uploaded every now and then. Again, I'm not going to be uploading twice a day, because it's going to affect the algorithm and stuff like that. So go ahead and subscribe to Keeping Up with the Nerds at YouTube, or follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we will let you guys know when those skits are going to be uploaded. Okay? Don't just subscribe on YouTube. No. Nick, what else should they be doing besides subscribing? There's something next to that button.
You got to hit the bell.
The bell, little ding ding. Little bing bong.
You can get all updates, or you can personalize them, so that way you can get specific updates on like when we do just podcasts, or when we just do short skits or stuff like that. So please go hit those bells. Make sure that your jingle. Which one? Make sure they jingle jangle all the way.
This is Toad. Jingle jingle all the way.
What's that the Pawnee radio station?
Oh,
What is it called again? That's what it just reminded me of.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
I actually don't even know why I went into that tone. I really don't know. Like for some reason.
Happy holidays, guys. Merry Christmas.
Make sure.
Happy Hanukkah.
So
Make sure
all
to
those
comment on the video as well. You know, share it. You know, do things.
All right, so let's get back into this. So skits are going to be uploaded. There's also a back catalog of videos that I have to work on as well. Tales from the Nerds that I haven't finished yet, so that's going up there as well.
It was an October thing.
Literally 2 months later. No, so that all that stuff is going to be posted on YouTube within the month. So it's going to be a content-filled December for you guys. And we are actually going to be talking about some stuff that we have planned for next year as well. So
we have stuff planned for next. This is news to me.
What? You mean we were going to go straight into 2022? What?
2023?
There's some big plans coming up ahead. We're going to be discussing it. So keep listening to us within the next couple of issues because there's going to be some surprises coming up for you guys. If just stay open, stay aware of what's going on.
Make sure to keep those debit cards ready.
Yeah.
And they clicked off. A little bit of a edit real quick. So on issue 75 where Steven was at, I'm going to just say up right now, I apologize, Steven. I misspelled. There were so many mistakes in that issue.
There isn't it's not a misspell. You
no,
just flipped the words.
I flipped. No. I misspelled the name
John
too.
Song too.
Yeah.
Wait, how did you misspell his name?
So I don't know what came to my mind.
His name is Steven.
Steven Hoffa.
But he said
Mofa.
Mofa or Mafa. He put an M. And I get a message from Steven.
I saw the message.
Yeah, he's all like, hey guys.
Hey, you guys messed up on my name. And then
I told him like, hey man, I personally texted him. I'm like, I'm super sorry. He goes, no problem. It's funny. He goes, he didn't even notice until one of his friends looked at it and just like noticed.
They were like, hey bro, you misspelled your name.
But everything I in the description was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
And then
happened.
the post too, they didn't have Steven on the picture. I didn't know. So like when you said it's on the drive, I'm like, okay, I'm looking.
No,
look. I'm actually looking for a picture of him, and I'm like, I guess he doesn't have a picture on here. So I was like,
so everything was done. Yeah. I was ahead of schedule when I had everything done. I'm like, great, I get to finish and I get to relax on this Wednesday or this Tuesday. I'm perfectly great and everything. Then you start texting me about the mistakes, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I look at the Instagram post and I'm like, Steven's not on there. Dang it! So I had to quickly rush home. I edited it. I'm like, okay, now it's done. Then you text me again. It's like, hey, or no, you didn't text me.
Yeah.
It went up again, and within that hour that it went up.
That's when Steven.
Steven didn't message it.
Oh no, he didn't. No, he commented. Didn't he?
I looked at it and I said, still standing. Dang it.
Yeah.
No, but he did comment on it. He's like,
he did afterwards. Yeah.
Afterwards, he was like, hey guys, it's the standing
still.
Like, and I'm like, oh damn, dude, like
kids can't get it right, dude.
I don't know what happened.
Like, this is my public this is my public apology to Steven. My bad. I usually don't make that many mistakes in a row.
Yeah.
For our listeners, it's Steven Hoffa from the Standing Still podcast, not Still Standing
Hosted
podcast.
by Stephen Moffa.
Stephen Hoffa. Stop.
Alter ego, Steven Moffat.
That's the next skit idea. Steven Moffat walks into the room.
He puts the black sheet up and then he's like, I'm Moffat.
He puts the cloak on with the hood. He's like, it's his dark side.
I think that's the next skit. We have him back on.
Ideas.
I swear to God, because we were talking about Steven and he was like, oh, I want to get you guys on. I really want him to misspell your name now.
I hope so.
It's
the only
I
way,
feel like if he's missing one of us on like his thumbnail or like he has the names
no.
like rearranged wrong, misspelled.
If he wants to, he can Mike Wazowski me in the thumbnail. It's like both of you guys up there, and then I'm being covered by one of you guys.
It's our logo. Like that. It's our logo over your face.
That's genius.
Speaking of which, when are you gonna have his story uploaded?
Oh, that's right. So all the interviews as well from every single guest that we've had will be updated by the time this podcast does go up. Yeah. We had a little bit of a delay, with some things that were being worked on and stuff like that. So there's a couple things here and there that we needed to fix. But All our guests are going to have their interviews as well as their photos and links on our website at keepingupwiththenerds.com/ I think it's like Creator Spotlight or something like that.
Yeah, Creator Spotlight.
Yes.
Where you guys can go check out everyone we've interviewed, everyone we had questionnaires with and stuff. It's kind of like a little inside look to kind of what they do. If you guys are interested in knowing more about them and where they can find, where you guys can find them. So everything will be on our website soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Nick shoots us.
Well, Nick's messing with the little arm stand for the camera. Thanks, Nick, for being.
Well, I was playing. Oh, I was kind of shooting that into whenever I have that. I was just like, it's like a gun. Like you're like.
All right. Is there anything else? Stop! No. Do you want YouTube to do what they did with Ludwig?
No, because
did you hear about
it's
that?
Not,
by the way?
it's not.
Who's Ludwig?
You don't know who Ludwig is?
No.
He's a big streamer.
That's your big mistake. I don't watch streamers.
No,
What'd they do to him? I don't know.
So Ludwig, he's a streamer. He originally was from Twitch. He's really famous because he works a lot with like.
Is he the one that fired the gun off in his
No.
room?
That's, he works with offline TV. So Pokimane, Lily Chu, I think is her name. Valkyrie, he's done work with her as well. He recently went from Twitch to YouTube.
Yeah.
And 2 days in, he was streaming on YouTube for about an hour and 40 minutes, and the stream goes down. And YouTube banned him. I don't know if it's true or not. I looked into it, but his stream went down. We don't know why. I think by now we know why, but I haven't looked into it. Probably. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's like some sort of copyright claim. But that's the funny thing is that he went from Twitch to YouTube because they paid him.
Yeah.
They did that whole like, oh, you're no exclusive YouTube streamer.
Yeah.
And then YouTube said, no. That's like a real estate agency coming to you. Is like, here's your keys. Hey, congrats. There you go. Now go open your door. That doesn't work. Sucks. Bye.
That sounds like a you problem.
Should really break the window and get in there. Then you can figure out the key problem. Told you it was a fixer-upper.
Fixer-upper with getting the right key.
Oh God, dude, it sucked. I was like, what the heck? Why would they do that? But whatever. It's YouTube gaming.
Yeah.
It's streaming. Rene doesn't watch. He doesn't care.
No. What I do care about, Spider-Man.
Ooh.
I was about to say the same thing. I was about to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I was literally
Spider-Man.
about to go
Hey,
Spider-Man.
man of the month right here. Nick Valero coming in clutch with tickets, dude.
I know, because
true
so
hero.
when we were talking, so we had an off-camera conversation, and Bryan had told us, and I think I agreed that the tickets were coming out on
Spider Monday.
Yeah.
And then we thought that they were coming out in the morning.
Yeah,
That's
They were-
okay.
yeah, like
that's
around
what
like
I thought.
8 a.m. or so, or something like that.
Reasonable, guys.
'Cause
It's
that's-
a
but that's-
Sunday.
But that's how Star Wars did it. Star Wars came out on May the 4th, and then they released them at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And like people were awake and stuff like that. Not midnight.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
I even had customers come telling me they're like, "Oh yeah, like I got them around like 11:30." I was like, "Really?" They're like, apparently some theaters were already ready before midnight with that.
That's crazy. But yeah, so anyway, it's like maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shoot, we should probably start looking to let me look up what time.
Yeah.
I messaged
You
guys
messaged the
for-
group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
because-
messaged
okay,
the group and you
so-
were like, because I originally did think, okay, well, let me get some work done and then
Yeah.
I'll put a tab up on the thing so that way when it loads up, I can just start refreshing.
Yeah.
And then that's when my phone started going off
Ding,
of like
ding.
ding 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 ding, and I was like, what is going on? Like who's messaging me right now? And it literally was just like, tickets went up on midnight. Guys, we need to find tickets. Can you guys find tickets? I can't find any tickets. Did you
Yeah.
guys see any tickets? And I was like, oh,
I didn't
damn
message.
it.
Did we can find any tickets?
That was me.
No, that was.
Oh, that was you.
That was me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I
Oh,
was
you
looking.
freaked out.
I
Okay.
was looking because I checked
because he was here. He was here
yeah.
trying to find him on
like
the computer.
we were because we talked about we were going to see it in Pointed Hills. So that was the first place I was like, okay, let's check there because that's usually
Rip.
good. Yeah, no, it was all speckled and like front row. I'm like, nobody wants front row.
That's why that's why those are available.
Yeah. And so then,
Which was weird because I noticed I saw it in Pointed Hills too.
Yeah.
There was exactly 5 seats.
yes,
And I messaged you about it too. There's exactly 5 seats in the front row.
yeah,
And 5 altogether. And I was like, how badly do we want to see this movie? Like, do we care? Well, no, that's not how it is anymore. That's not really how it is anymore because they have the lazy boys now. So
but so that was the thing is that we agreed that we were gonna go and spend. We were gonna watch this at like an appropriate theater. Yes. Like Starlight Cinemas in Uptown Whittier. It's a good theater. Great. It's a good theater.
We're like this though.
Yeah, we're squished in. Like,
Ghostbusters, like
it's hard being three fat guys.
Yeah.
It's really hard being three fat guys.
Yeah, we got
Starlight
like large,
Cinemas
medium, and small. So.
No, but I'm just saying it's hard being in that theater. And because the seats are like really squished. Not only that, but also like they don't recline. They're not the most comfortable seats.
And then they're kind of, again, but they're like really close to the seats in front too.
Well,
so when you're walking, you're afraid you're gonna go.
That's how the movies used to be.
You're gonna like, oh man, excuse me, like you're looking at the other person's snacks.
I'm so sorry, my dick went on your shoulder. That's not what I meant. Excuse me, can you move your head? Just. As you're just sitting there and you feel people's crotches rubbing against the back of your head.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, it's bad. It's so bad sometimes. I love that theater. I've been going to that theater since I was a little kid.
It's a great theater.
It's a solid theater.
Yes.
It's just
the audio is great. The Dolby Atmos theater is really good.
Yeah, the Dolby Atmos, but they can't upgrade it though.
No,
that's the only problem. Like you can't put
they've
Lazy Boys,
upgraded it. It's just,
but you can't put like Lazy Boys.
No, because it's not going to fit.
It's too small. You'd get like 10 seats.
Worth it.
Actually, you know what the funny thing? You know what's actually funny? The Alamo Draft House does that, where it's literally only like 13 seats, and they're the recliner ones.
Oh, okay.
Isn't the Alamo Draft House? I thought that was only an Austin thing or Texas thing. Or do they have one here?
They have one in L.A. It's in downtown.
I didn't know because I know Rooster Teeth always talks about it. They're like, "Oh, the Alamo Draft House."
Bro, we gotta go. Mm-hmm. You got a butler. You got a butler.
What?
Yeah, you got
a Alfred.
Butler. No, yeah, you get a guy and he comes over to you and he's like, "Oh, what do you guys want for dinner?"
What do you want for dinner, sir?
Yeah, I wish he was British.
That was good.
I do wish he was British, but he's not. He's usually like from like usually some guy that can't.
It's California, so what do you want for dinner,
what
sir?
are you talking about, dude?
I didn't know he was gonna go for it.
I was trying to figure out the joke in my head, but I couldn't. Anyway,
I missed this energy,
man. Fool, what do you want for dinner?
Dude, if I got that at the Alamo Draft House, I would die. I would be like, that is great. Where he's just like, hey, what's up, fool? Hey, you want some chicken wings?
We got some boneless chicken wings.
We got some boneless chicken wings. Dude, no. Bro, you want some chicken wings? They're fucking bomb, bro. They're bomb.
They're pretty tasty, ain't?
Yeah, what kind of beers you got? I got Modelo, fool.
I got
Modelo and Corona.
What about all the drafts?
We draft them from the brewery.
If they bring out the Coronas, they play
fool, and I put up my Corona on the fucking thing, dude.
If they bring out the Coronas, they play that song in the background that plays every time Dom comes out in his Charger.
Oh my god, yes. I feel like also Lowrider.
They walk into the theater in slow motion, but everything else around them is in real time.
But the thing I do like about the Alamo Draft House of theaters is you feel like it is an event. Like you do, because you go and like the theaters are really small, but the screens are huge, so you kind of feel like you're in. There's not a lot of people in there, so you're just kind of like, oh, like it's a private it's kind of a private.
So
screening.
what you're saying is we should go watch Matrix.
I'm actually kind of down to go see Matrix over at the Alamo Draft House. It's a little more expensive, but it's kind of cool.
It's in LA.
Dude, you can.
LA?
Why are you asking how far it is? I'm gonna be driving us over there.
I'm just wondering where I'm going.
It's actually really cool though, because if you want, we can actually take the subway. We can actually take the
Nerds vlog number 2. The nerds go downtown LA. They don't make it back. Three enter the theater. Only one leaves.
Because the Alamo Draft House is right outside of the Green Line. You literally walk outside the Green Line, and then the Alamo Draft House is right here. And then you can just jump back on and then go back to your car.
I am down to do it, but we gotta vlog it.
I'm down.
Public transport.
The nerds take public transportation.
Us getting lost on public trans. That's fine. No, what I usually do is I'll usually do is I'll go to El Monte Station and then get on the bus, and then from there I then get onto the train and then I go that route, and then that'll take me straight to downtown along with because there's no parking. Like the parking there is nuts.
So public transportation.
So public transportation is kind of your best bet, just because unless you're all gonna squeeze into one car and then you're just gonna go down there and then pay like $30 for parking, it's ridiculous.
That's true.
I'm down. Let's do it. Matrix.
Matrix style.
Matrix.
I'm just thinking Uber.
We'll talk about it.
Like
No, Uber's cheating. We're doing public transportation. We're vlogging the whole
no,
thing.
Uber to the train station.
Well, no, because I think parking at the train station was like $1. It's like $2.
Oh, really?
It's cheap, dude. Like it's dirt cheap. Like you just go.
We start here, and we have to try to find our way to the Alamo Draft House through public transportation. There's no paid. We're not paying.
Every nerd
not paid to win.
Like we all go.
Oh my God! Can we do that? Can we all take different modes of transportation to get there, and then like we'll meet we'll meet there.
We'll be at the theater.
We'll meet at the theater and then talk about our adventure.
Yeah.
So the adventures, the people we've met.
I feel like Bryan would have the most like interesting adventure because it's
Bryan-
you. Because it's you.
Because
something's gonna happen to you.
Brian would get stabbed, and I'm not sure how.
I feel like Bryan would
And
get
most
into,
likely-
like, run into trouble, and you would just like have the smoothest like way
I
of
would
getting
just
there.
I would just show up and go like, so what happened? And then Brian's like, I stabbed myself.
I just like never show up. Like, it's just like, and I just come back, like come here the next day. Yeah, I never found it.
I walked out of the store, and I said no. Then I turned.
Found myself in Vegas.
I just showed up to Vegas and that was it.
Yeah.
No, but because this bus actually does take you to the El Monte station.
Oh, yeah.
This bus will take you to El Monte
Why
station.
are we talking about public transportation? Okay, bits over. We got to go back to freaking.
Anyway.
Well, because we have no guests, so there's no reason to be on track.
Exactly. I don't know. I can do what I usually do.
Thank you guys for keeping us on track. Now
Yeah,
it's just the nerds unleashed.
We're on train track.
Okay, so, but no, I would say, but besides that, going through it, I started looking through it, and AMC just released so much stuff. Like the AMC over in Glendale released like every theater in the entire building.
So they're like devoting
all
all
the
theaters.
Yeah, when I saw
basically
it,
that day.
the show times were like that big.
Really?
And that was just like bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
And it was
We
every
got
30,
tickets
and it
to-
was every 30
Shh, don't
minutes.
see.
I know. Why are you telling people where we go?
I'm telling people where we're going.
Why would you tell people
What do you
where
do
we're going?
that?
Don't tell people where we're going.
We're going to Pointing Hills.
Don't tell people where we're going.
Yeah.
All right.
Huntington Beach.
This is why you get stabbed.
Fullerton.
In our imaginary world, this is why you get stabbed.
Santa Ana.
Because you're the person that goes like, I'm going this route, and it's like,
Just yell
well
out.
now I know where to go to mess with Bryan. So anyway, we're there, and then I was able to get tickets, and I thought it was so funny because I was telling him on the walk to Rick's earlier, is that I was going through it.
Oh, yeah.
So I started talking to you,
Yeah.
and then I was talking to you right after it, and then I was like, hey man, I got the tickets, everything like that. You know, you guys kind of, get old fashioned handy afterwards. And I was talking about it, and then they were. Because I was looking at the price, and it was only like $60 for 5 tickets.
Yeah, that's what
It was like
$67.
$67.
When you
and I
told
was
me
like,
the price, I was like,
yeah, and I told you because you asked
You
me
got
like how much.
5? I was
Yeah,
like-
I got 5 tickets, and I was like, what happened? And I go, I'm not gonna argue with it. Like,
like
I got 5 tickets,
AMC,
and then I
I
was
should
talking
pay
to you
more.
about it, and I was going like, I don't know how I got. I think they were like $12 a piece. I don't know how that happened. But then I looked at it, and then it said that my Stubs took my ticket.
Oh.
So I only paid for the 4
Stubs
tickets.
rewards, yeah.
No, it wasn't even Stub rewards.
Was it?
I counted as my one movie.
oh, that's right.
It counted as my one movie for the week. So I just had. So it literally just went. All right, you can go. They have to pay.
Have your peasants pay.
Yeah, have the peasants.
These other tickets you gotta pay for.
Yeah, have the peasants pay, and then we'll go from there. But anyway, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't get to tell you. So
Oh, yeah.
I got an email from AMC
Why are you guys looking at me? Like,
because we got the tickets. And it's on the 16th,
yeah.
and so I got an email from AMC saying because I am a Stubbs Reward member and I am also a stockholder, that I get an exclusive Spider-Man No Way Home NFC.
Yeah, I saw the ads. Yeah. I mean,
Like,
you mean NFT?
NFT, whatever.
Explain
He
that.
doesn't even care.
Explain that to the listeners.
I get it.
that
You
know.
don't.
Okay,
All right?
and?
That's my question. Me. I get it, and then I'm gonna get it, and then I'm gonna show it to Bryan, and then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rip it up.
No, you don't rip up NFTs. They're digital.
Doesn't matter. I'm gonna get it, and rip it up. I'm gonna make a copy of it, and I'm gonna rip it up. Why?
I'm gonna screenshot it. I'm gonna print
Symbolism. Does not matter.
You don't even know what NFTs are.
I don't.
It
What
doesn't
is it?
matter. I don't care. I just want to rip it in your face.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I don't. I got it, and I was just
didn't
like,
really care.
I didn't really care, and then I was like, maybe this will upset Bryan. And then, what is an NFT?
Are you done? I don't know. I don't care. I'm a millennial. This crap don't faze me, man.
Well, then
Speaking of
this entire joke was pointless.
Yeah, you're the one that set the joke up. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
You want me to fall victim to it? Oh yeah, you know what, Nick? You're an asshole, dude. Rubbing it in my face. Ugh.
I feel better now.
So just.
I just finished.
And done.
Now I feel rejuvenated.
This is why we're never gonna get noticed by the Uptown Whittier Association, because say stuff like this and they're gonna be like, nope, this is.
We just went in like a 5-minute bag session on Whittier Cinema. That's why. You just bagged on Whittier Cinema and then went we should go to Point of
it
Hills.
was great. How are we bagging on it? We just said that we couldn't fit in the seats.
Hold on.
That's all it is.
Hold on. In all fairness, that's a backhanded compliment of going the movie theater's great, but I get a dick on my shoulder every single time I go. So I mean, how great is it?
How great to get a dick slapped on my head.
Usually you have to pay for that kind of action.
We've been talking about theaters for the last 10 minutes.
We killed a good half hour.
And there's a bunch of stuff, but we haven't even spoken about Spider-Man
In all
at
fairness,
this point.
Earlier beforehand, we were like, what are we going to talk about today?
I know.
I killed 30 minutes.
I mean, it's true. That always happens. Even before Nick came here on the show, we would always be like, what are we going to talk about? And we just start talking.
Well, this is an unscripted podcast.
All right. So anyway, Spider-Man.
NFTs.
Before the children start talking again. Bryan.
What?
Bryan, I'm looking at you.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. So anyway, Spider-Man. There are new posters that came out today. Mm-hmm. Did you see them, Bryan?
Yeah, Rene just showed them to me.
Yeah, how'd you like them? What'd you think?
I mean, look, at this point, just give me the movie. I don't care.
You know what? It's so weird because I feel like this movie, they're doing everything but just telling you what's happening.
I mean, that's the point.
No. But I mean, I feel like there's a brand new TV spot with slightly different footage.
Mm-hmm. They released
day.
the IMAX one.
Yeah.
That was yesterday
every,
or 2 days ago.
As of recording. Every day to 2 days, I'm I'll look on YouTube and then it'll be
there's always a new spot.
Brand new TV spot for Spider-Man No Way Home. And then it'll have
that's because what they
scenes.
want you to do is they want you to get all the TV spots, right? And they want you to stop at a specific frame. And when you put them all together in a certain spot.
Illuminati?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you get
Disney,
Mysterio. The face of Mysterio pops up.
God. Could you imagine if you pause it in just the right frame and you see Mickey with a clock? He's hypnotizing you.
I gotta stop frame. Sorry, go on.
Because I watched one of the TV because I was like, oh, you know what? I'll see what this new TV spot has, and then after I watched it, I was kind of over it. But then I did see. The thing is that they're showing footage, little bits of new footage and stuff. There's a scene where, I guess Peter is swinging mid-air and he's you see him in the sunset, and I'm like, oh, that would be cooler if there was 2 more Spider-Man right there with him. Yeah, so it's
now the thing I don't like about it is, for one, I was actually really appreciating when there wasn't a trailer. I loved not having a trailer.
That would have been really cool. That's the thing.
Like the idea, the fact that we went so long without trailers for this movie, because trailers just started dropping maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and I just feel so overwhelmed with these trailers. Every day I got a new trailer for this thing, and it kind of is making it not as special anymore. It's
that's why I'm not watching any new footage or trailers.
Not only that, but also when people are slowing it down, they're slowing down the thing because that's a big thing on YouTube now, is to slow down the trailers and see what else is there.
Everyone wants to see the Easter eggs the predictions.
New Rockstars does it all the time. Emergency Awesome.
I'm just gonna say this.
No, but have you seen some people where they were like, oh, they did bad editing?
Yeah, that was me.
No,
I was one of those people.
I'm one.
No, no, but it's bad Photoshop.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like floating, like a floating hand, like a floating red hand that's like in the back of a screen of a thing, a shoulder.
The one that I know is
the
scene where it's in this the scaffolding of the Captain America statue. That scene.
You mean the Statue of Liberty?
It's I thought it was Captain America. That's gonna
it's
be
Statue of Liberty. They put the Captain America shield on the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, I thought it was a full-on Captain.
I did not know that.
I thought it was Captain America.
That makes more sense.
Okay, thank you for actually.
Yeah.
Good. Nick was gonna just barrage me with more insults.
Dude,
so.
Well, I thought they were doing it like an homage to Cap. Yeah.
They did,
like
but
separate.
But they showed that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Cool.
There's a poster in the background, and it shows the Statue of Liberty, and it's holding Cap's shield.
Oh, I didn't look
see
at
that.
that. I gotta watch that again.
Okay, so I gotta pay attention to that.
Yeah, and
but,
not only that, but also that's why, and they re-bronzed it.
Okay.
That's why the Statue of Liberty is all bronze now.
So that there's a scene where I think it's MJ that's there, or it's one of the scaffolding scenes where they paused it and they showed that it's like slightly bent, like it doesn't look natural.
Which one?
It's a scaffolding scene.
Okay.
They said some of the scaffolding was like bent the wrong way, didn't look like it was actually natural. So yeah, I mean, but how much? I don't know. I'm just gonna say this. Look, I have been a Spider-Man fan since I was a kid, and I was picked on for it for years. So when I see people,
because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exact same response. Okay, and then look, I'm happy.
Who was this guy?
That's bad.
Who's this guy?
Superhero in the world.
You're
holding a Batman comic.
People would have been like, "You're dope." I get it,
Me
man.
as a Spider-Man fan.
In a perfect world, and now people don't take Batman fans seriously now.
Yeah. Well, let's be. Anyway.
No, but like all of a sudden, it's like everyone and their mothers cares. And it's like everyone's like, oh, I've been a Spider-Man fan since I was a kid. I'm like, dude, no, never showed it. I mean, it doesn't matter. The more attention a comic book character gets, great. It means that there's more content to enjoy, which I'm not against. That's a good thing, right? But then there's these people that are just going to ruin it by just stopping and slowing down the trailer and saying this is happening and this is what's going on and all this other stuff and all these assumptions, and it just kills the anticipation for it.
But the thing is, but also that's your choice of watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
why I'm choosing to like avoid most of these things.
Like I'll admit I've watched the new Rockstars videos about like their theories and stuff like that. It's fine. It's interesting. Most of the time they're wrong.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like Matt, dude,
film theory.
Yes. I don't think film theory is being right. Like, once. Like they'll always go like, "Oh, and this is what happens," and then you're just like, "Oh, dude, this is so dumb."
Like, but then, like they'll pass it off. Well, it was just a theory. I don't have to.
Yeah,
be right.
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna say this. Matt Pat's great. I loved him.
Matt Pat's good.
Matt Pat's great. It's just, and I think he understands now because he plays on that where he's just like, yeah, I know I'm not gonna be right. It's fine. You're going to be right one of these days. As you can keep throwing darts at the dartboard. One of these days, you're going to hit a bullseye. Even if it's
one of these days, it'll be Mephisto for you, buddy.
Yes! And it'll be in this movie.
Okay. Oh, my God. If they randomly were to if they were to shoehorn Mephisto into this movie, I think I'd walk out.
I want my money back, and for all 5 seats.
I think I'd get up and be like, "What the hell?" and I'd just walk out. Especially if it was dumb. Especially if it was like a really dumb. There was somebody had told me how Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire show up in the movie, and I thought it was the dumbest way possible. I do not like it.
What was the theory?
That Tom Holland leaves. He's missing for like maybe like 30 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for him, and Doctor Strange goes and tries to make it. It was like,
just lets the other Spider-Man.
He's just like sana. And then I want Doctor Strange to do that so bad. I think it would be so funny.
He starts saying the sana colita rana.
Dude,
it's like sana.
Dude, could you imagine he's trying to do that to the universe? He's like, "Oh, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay.
Get the Vicks.
The multiverse is open.
Get the Vicks." You just see him start rubbing the Statue of Liberty with Vicks. Yeah.
Spider-Man, you're down.
Where's the guy with the pollo?
You see Yeah, everybody, what's that smell? It's healing.
Spider-Man's like, Tom Holland, Spider-Man's on the ground. He gets the Vicks and just takes off his boot, wipes it on his feet.
Oh, puts his boot back on?
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell?
How do we heal the multiverse?
Vicks.
It's great branding.
Vicks and chicken soup.
Having a hard time breathing.
Oh,
Vicks will help. It helps the
Speaking
multiverse.
Speaking of terrible heritage, speaking of terrible heritage like stuff, as being Hispanic, I once went to my grandfather's house and I was telling him I wasn't feeling well, like I had I had a tummy ache.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my stomach hurts, and he was like, oh, I have a solution for that. So he got
Vicks.
he got baking soda and he put it on a lemon. And he goes, suck on that. And I went, what? And he goes, suck on that and you'll feel better. And so because I'm an idiot, I did it.
How old were you?
Like probably like 17. Like
I thought you were old enough to make your own decisions.
I thought you were going to say like 10
I trusted my grandfather, all right? Trusted him.
Sucks on the lemon with baking soda. All of a sudden, it just starts foaming from the mouth.
It was so much worse. I started uncontrollably going to the restroom and vomiting all over, like uncontrollably.
Wow.
And I was in the restroom and I could not leave. And then I eventually walked outside and I went, "What did you do to me?"
And then he just asked you, "Do you have a stomach ache?"
Yeah.
No.
That's exactly what he said. He goes, "Do you have a stomach ache anymore?" And I'm like, "No, I just vomited everything I have in my stomach out. Yeah. So how can I have a stomach ache?"
Yeah.
It's okay. My mom has this thing where, because my fiance Andy was sick. This is like 3-4 years back.
I don't know why, but for some reason, baking soda on a lemon, Control Alt Delete.
You want to know what's worse?
That's
my
Control
mom.
Alt Delete. Just like
Control Alt Delete.
It's true.
Taskmaster open. No, here's what my
Everything
mom.
that's in him, gone.
You know
So
how they
my-
tell you
my
don't
body
delete
went,
program
okay.
86? It went that far. No, so my mom has this weird recipe for a tea before we go back to Spider-Man and healing the universe. This is what Doctor Strange can try.
Vicks?
She has she has a weird recipe for a tea that is water. It's some parts honey, some parts it's water, honey, cinnamon, some other like herb in there, and radishes. And she boils that, and it literally tastes like
Death.
yeah.
Okay.
But it works because Andy tried it. She was like deathly sick 3 years back. Mm-hmm. Like she was not feeling good. Then my mom makes this tea and she's like, drink it. She's like, oh, this is so gross. Literally the next day she's like, I feel a lot better. I'm like, I don't know what's in it. Witchcraft? Some Guatemalan like ancient Mayan technique or whatever.
The bruja.
La brujeria.
So besides that, so Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Speaking of witchcraft,
Agatha.
No, but I do think that it's going to be interesting. I do kind of wish that they would lay off on the TV spots.
Yeah,
and everything
footage
else.
at least. Yeah,
I think like 2 TV spots and a trailer would have done fine.
Yeah, but you're looking at it from our perspective, like, fans of Spider-Man, of comic books, of people who are like deathly invested in it. Here's the thing. Spider-Man is essentially the poster boy for Marvel at this point. It used to be Iron Man, right? So now that Marvel Studios is working with Sony and they're working together, they're getting along, Spider-Man's that poster boy. So they're going to do whatever it takes to advertise the living crap out of him to every commenter out there and say like, look, this big movie that's going to be coming out, this is like an Avengers-sized movie now. This is like the movie to go watch. So they're going to keep releasing TV spots and, IMAX stuff and all this other stuff to kind of like get that crowd to be hyped about it. They're going to aim for every single person. If there's at least one person, if 10 people walk into the comic book store, I can guarantee you at least one of them has probably not seen a commercial for it. What's so funny?
I just thought of like, I just envisioned Mickey holding someone by the head and go, "Oh, look at this, you idiot! Oh, that's Spider-Man!
you're gonna watch Spider-Man.
You better love him!
Did you buy your tickets yet?
Robert Downey Jr. didn't want to do this anymore.
Hey, but I 100%.
No, dance, Tom! Dance!
Where's your purity ring?
But I'm 100% with Nick on this one, where I agree. There's just way too many pieces of advertisement at this point. It's just like, just give us the movie. It's 2 weeks away at this point.
Not only that, but also, okay, like I was saying in the very beginning, I don't like the posters. If you were gonna have villain posters,
Have we even
that's
described
fine.
the posters?
So the posters
Yeah,
that
they
I'm
know.
talking so the posters that I'm talking about specifically are the ones that are Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, Willem Dafoe. Is it Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
don't. But it's just the Green Goblin. Like,
It's the
no
Green
face.
Goblin, but
It's the Goblin.
William
and-
Dafoe's confirmed to be in the movie.
No. But what I'm saying is on the poster it's Goblin.
Yes,
Green Goblin.
Goblin,
Green
Ock,
Goblin.
and Electro.
And Electro.
I don't think they'll have James Franco because Disney
You
doesn't want any sort of.
I wish it was. I wish it was.
Why?
Because that would be interesting for Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin to have died and James Franco's what's his name?
New Goblin. They just called him New Goblin.
No, I know. Harry Osborn. I was why
yeah.
couldn't I think of it? It'd be funny for Harry Osborn to be the new Green Goblin.
What about if we had the Dane DeHaan, the DeHaan one? He was like,
I want to see how far they were gonna go with that Goblin.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But anyway, besides that,
So it's the posters of the three villains, and then it's Spider-Man
And then
looking at them.
it's a blurry picture of Spider-Man in like the in the front. So like it's them like facing off against Spider-Man. But if you look at the posters and you look at the Spider-Man, people have been noticing that all the Spider-Men are wearing different costumes.
It's different, slight changes to like the pattern and the way where the
thickness
red.
of like the webbing, different stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're literally just doing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in this movie.
But they're not in the movie.
But we're going to keep telling everybody that they're not. But we're gonna even in our promotion, we're gonna just tease the fact that they're in it. Like even on Spider Monday, they were like, "Oh, I have two people I want to introduce you to, and I can't wait for you guys to meet them."
Oh,
and then it was Zendaya and the dude that plays Ned. And then they were like, well, obviously, who else would be here besides us? And he's like, yeah, who else would be here?
And did you see when they reacted to the new trailer?
Oh,
Tom was like, "What? Where's?" Oh, like
Tom did do that because he was like, because he.
I think Sony told him like, yeah, we're gonna try and put them in the trailer. You know? I think that's what they're. And then they never said it to him anything after that. And then he sees the trailer and he's like, what? He's like, "Where's?"
It looks like he's trying to like he's reacting to something, and he's like,
and he remembers shooting those scenes.
Obviously,
Shooting
with people.
Yeah, with certain people.
So all I'm gonna say is, they got to stop with this. But I understand why they're doing it. Part of me is okay with it. The other part of me is annoyed of it. And I think the part of me is okay with it because I want to have that kind of small disbelief that we're not going to get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Hang on. Because when it does happen, I want that, like, jaw-dropping moment. Like, we know it's going to be there.
I see
like,
what
you
you're
want to keep
saying,
having that doubt, you know?
But, I mean, it's like, to have that thought, I feel like, and it's nothing against you, I feel that's just being ignorant. Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, think that, they're not in it. So when the moment comes, I'll be more surprised. I'm still gonna be shocked regardless because you're gonna see it. Because I mean, obviously they don't want to show the footage, but in my opinion, I think they should just say, yes, they're in it, but you have to see the movie.
Well, because I'm gonna be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
I think Tobey Maguire shows up on the bridge.
Oh, like he's the final one that like maybe because like I feel like they're gonna at least see Andrew Garfield in the middle of the movie.
I think Andrew. Here's the reason why I think so is because how does Tom Holland capture Ock?
Yeah.
And where does Goblin go? Because right at that point he's fighting Goblin and also and Doc Ock on the bridge. How does he get out? Like how does this all happen? Everything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Andrew Garfield who he fought with, because then he would be like, "Is this is this your Peter Parker?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No, that's not my Peter Parker."
It only makes sense to showcase that, Andrew first and then Toby, because Toby is the big ticket item. Like, all respect to Andrew.
Yeah, definitely.
Andrew was great. Andrew as Spider-Man was awesome.
Yeah, but that is literally like you showing up with Michael Keaton as Batman. The like one of, or not even like if what was it if oh my god, why can't I remember, Adam West were to have shown up as like wearing a Batman outfit, or something else. But he comes through like a portal and he's like saving the other Batman. It's like old man Batman. That would have been sick. But he wouldn't be the first one. He wouldn't be like my first one that I showed up. No. I would be like, no, we're saving the big ticket item.
Yeah, Toby's the big ticket item.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the one that
It's a
pops
selling
up.
point,
He's gonna have this. He's gonna have that sick like intro. Like
I feel like that makes more sense because I feel like Toby wouldn't want to do a whole film, so to speak.
No, he needs.
He would want to. Yeah, he would want to
getting
do
into that,
like an end fight cameo.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
He's
be
at that age.
Because my thing is, I do think that Tobey Maguire shows up
In the final battle.
At the final battle.
That makes more sense. I would be more understandable. I would like that more than both of the Spider-Man at the final battle.
The reason why I'm thinking the final battle is, for one, we've already seen that one photo of all three of them together. Mm-hmm. Two is because of that one revealed clip that everybody keeps on saying is a deep fake, but
with Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, but they're introducing themselves because while he's on the thing, he goes, "You have spider blood."
Yeah.
Like, or you have
web blood. Yeah, because they talking about their web shooters, and then Toby's like, "Well, I don't have web shooters.
It's organic.
Comes out of my
arm." But I think that would be really interesting if he was like, if he's like, "I'm running low, throw me a cartridge," and he goes, "I don't have any cartridges," and he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, I have organic." Like, it comes out of my arm.
Yeah.
Goes,
that comes out of Andrew. That doesn't come out of Toby. Or not Toby, excuse me. That comes out of Andrew. That line is said by Andrew. Tom, I don't think, because I feel like Tom hasn't had a moment. I know we're talking about like plot devices and stuff, and we'll get more into that other stuff.
He hasn't had a moment where he's run out.
Exactly, because I feel like his tech is way too advanced to ever have that moment.
Yeah.
But Andrew, I've always thought, because that's the thing is that Tom Holland's Spider-Man, if we're going to be talking about like the actual essences of each Spider-Man, Tom's Spider-Man has always been carried. Like, no disrespect to him. He's a great Spider-Man, but he's always had that kind of like security blanket over him.
Yeah.
It's Stark tech. His costume is like the most, tech savvy out of all of them. He's got,
Happy Hogan.
Exactly. He's got the security blanket to cover him. And if we're going to be talking about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, he's the one that kind of like self-grown, self-made Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he was the one that had to design his web shooters using that Oscorp tech, understanding the functions and everything. So if he's going to be running out of like web fluid, it's got to be him. And then Toby, freaking Toby Spider-Man.
But I just think that would be so funny if he goes to Tom and he's like, give me red fluid, and he's like, I don't have any cartridges. It's it's nanobots. And then he goes to he's like, give me web fluid. Like,
how about you? Yeah, he goes.
Yeah, what about you? And he's just like,
it comes out of my arm.
Comes out of my arm, and he's like, you have web blood.
Yeah,
because that would make sense. That's the only way I can see that that conversation happening. Where he's like, why do you have web blood?
Yeah.
I will say, if we're gonna be talking about like some trailer stuff, because did we talk about the trailer at all in the issues? No, right?
We kind of did.
It was we kind of touched onto it, but then we were more because we're
our guests, right?
It was about our guests more.
So in one of the the big trailer that came out, I know people. We all know all three Spider-Man are going to be on there. That's no questions at this point. We all know, right? But what captured me,
Daredevil.
No, what captured me was
Goblin.
Electro's
Kingpin.
No, Electro's costume. I loved it. That was like the first thing that picked up.
The Stark Tech?
Not the Stark Tech, the freaking
the
Electro.
Stark Tech.
No, but his mask.
But like when he's using his electricity power, he has like the mask outline.
That was the first thing I noticed.
Yeah.
I did not pay attention to anything else. Like when I saw that, I was like, that's the Electro I grew up with.
No,
with the electric face mask.
But he's using Stark Tech.
Yeah,
that was the other thing.
He's using
Whiplash.
arc reactors.
He's using Whiplash.
Yeah, so
he's using Whiplash's tech.
So that's another thing is like, because this Electro obviously doesn't have powers. It looks like, at least
it might have been like an Electro before.
Yeah, he's piggybacking on something.
Here's my thing though. I don't know if that's the case. I think that the arc reactor is giving him better control.
Oh, I see what you're going.
Rather than it being infused in his own body.
Rather than being infused in his own body, and rather than him being, just like this. Because Electro, I think it was his suit. It was his suit that was giving him the ability of electricity.
To use.
If I remember correctly, like
there's two different ones because there's Shocker and there's Electro.
No, because I remember
Electro he had I believe he had electricity.
I remember early on,
but his suit was able to guide where he was like throwing the electricity and stuff. And Shocker, he was the one that was using tech actually
he
to
had
like
tech to do it.
Yeah. And it's so weird. As a kid, even that confused me.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that because they all get outfitted with Stark Tech. How? I don't know. But they all pretty much get outfitted with Stark.
We're going to talk about this when we go into Hawkeye, when we discuss some Hawkeye stuff, because there is something in Hawkeye that kind of was mentioned that is giving me a little bit of an idea of what's going on here. Yep. We'll talk more about it in depth, but I will say this. In Hawkeye, there are snippets in the script where they say, I forget who it was. I think it was Hawkeye, actually, who was mentioning it to Kate Bishop. Who knows how much stuff was acquired from the wreckage of Avengers Tower when it collapsed?
Oh, you mean what was it Avengers HQ?
Exactly. Yeah. Because there's a scene in the first episode where they're doing a black market auction and they're selling a bunch of stuff that was found in the wreckage of Stark Tower.
I don't really know how that happened. Well, because it might have just been because Stark wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, maybe he wasn't responsible for the cleanup. Maybe some things were stolen.
But he is. But the thing is that he was, because he's the one that was paying for damage control.
But there might be people who might have been stealing stuff. Exactly. So that kind of leads into it, where they're kind of assuming that this tech is out there in the world and being replicated somewhere. Because even in Homecoming, Vulture had his own crew that was stealing tech, stealing alien tech and stuff like that to remanufacture to then distribute to criminals and stuff like that. So it's already out there. You just kind of have to connect the pieces.
See, my thing is that I don't know why I actually really do like the idea of Stark tech being too complicated. Of like Tony was the only one that could really because that was my only thing that was that because even in the second Iron Man. Mm-hmm. Nick Fury mentions it to Tony, and he goes, "You're telling me that you designed something, one of the most dangerous weapons in the world, and you didn't put safeguards in case it got out of your hands?
Yeah.
How does that happen?" Mm-hmm. And I could totally see everything that Tony would have touched. He would have had some kind of a safeguard, some kind of this isn't going to go through.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The arc reactor wouldn't even go on, without having to do it. Or if you try to jump it, it would short itself out, and it would destroy the key thing to get it to work. Because if you notice, it's the elemental one, the one that he makes in 2. Mm-hmm. That's the arc reactor that Electro is using. It's the triangle.
Yeah.
So.
Because that's the one that he got that one removed, right?
It's the one he gets removed, and then he throws it into the ocean in L.A. So I'm wondering how exactly he gets some of this stuff, because he wasn't using those arc reactors anymore.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to bring up a question real quick, and this kind of goes into the fact of where exactly are these characters coming from? Right. So not only did we get a trailer for Spider-Man, but there was a drop of the Morbius trailer as well.
Yes.
And in the Morbius trailer, there are a couple clues in there as well that are kind of throwing some people off, because you do see
is all over the place.
It's all over the place, and this is what's confusing me.
That's the thing. We have to watch No Way Home, I think, to understand where Morbius is going to be at
or
that point.
What's going on with the timeline. So in Morbius, in the teaser long ago, we saw that poster of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man that said murder, right? Mm-hmm. Then in this new trailer, we see Oscorp using the same font that existed in Andrew Garfield.
Not to mention they reference Venom, because they said the incident in San Francisco.
So is it in the same universe? What's going on there?
And also, Morbius says, "I'm Venom."
Yeah.
Straight out. He's just like, "I'm Venom."
What's I should know this, and it's slipping my mind. The other science organization.
AIM?
Oh, Alchemax.
Alchemax. Is it Alchemax?
Yeah.
Can you look it up real quick?
It's something like that. Yeah, it's Alchemax.
It's something like that.
Yeah. It's it's Spider-Man 2099.
Yes.
Originally was.
Yes.
Yeah. So that.
Val Kilmer.
Fingers crossed.
Val Kilmer.
Fingers crossed. We get Spider-Man 2099. Anyways, they're referencing that kind of stuff. So now you're pulling pieces from different movies and from different timelines. Where does what go? How does this all belong in there?
I wouldn't be surprised if everything rubber bands. Everything kind of because Strange basically says, "I can't hold it." Everything is going all over the place. And not only that, but then also Spider-Man is supposed to be inside of the Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. He's already been confirmed he is going to be in Multiverse of Madness with Scarlet Witch and also with with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So I imagine that wherever this leaves off, either the 2 other Spider-Mans get sent home with their villains, because I actually would think that would be really interesting if they get thrown back into it, and then they cut right where like the ending of those movies happened. You know, it cuts, and then Spider-Man's like doing the flip to get out of the way of the glider, and like he gets impaled and stuff like that. Like that would be kind of interesting. It like shows like them, like the timelines going back to their original spots, but also or them all being imprisoned in the little box. So I don't really know how.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking if like they'll all be stuck by the time No Way Home ends,
or
we're just merging everything, kind of like how Flash did.
Yeah, or you flashpoint it and you just merge everything, and now they're all villains inside of the MCU. They're all alive villains, and they all go to Supermax.
So, question for you guys.
Yes.
Or they go to the Raft.
With all of this stuff that we're predicting, you know, pretty much. There's more predictions. I think we're going to save our heavy predictions for within the next 2 issues, closer to like, you know, movie release. But my question to you guys is this franchise getting too big for its own good? Because now look at how much we're predicting just based off the trailers. How many questions are still left unanswered until this movie comes out? And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't have faith that No Way Home is going to answer all these questions. I have a strong feeling that Multiverse of Madness is going to be that movie that's going to answer like not every remaining question, but like at least a solid 80 to 90% of every question we've asked. And No Way Home is just going to give us some answers, but even more questions.
Because I'm also wondering, where in the timeline does Multiverse of Madness take place? Because I think No Way Home is supposed to take place, what, a year after?
A year after what?
A year after the blimp?
So then now you're talking about all of these incidences happening before Hawkeye.
Yes.
See, that's the complicated part.
No, that's the thing. That's what makes Hawkeye such a...
Or even Eternals. Does this take place after or before Eternals?
They said
this is after.
That's after Endgame, but it's like, I think it's a year
It's
after
5
Endgame.
years after when everyone gets back.
For Eternals?
Mm-hmm.
So
Eternals is 5 years after everyone comes back.
So that means that Eternals is ahead of everybody. They're ahead of Hawkeye. They're ahead of Black Widow.
Because Hawkeye is 3 years.
Shang-Chi was only, I think, like a year.
Mind you, though, that because of COVID, everything got pushed back.
It did,
Yeah,
but
the thing is that doesn't really matter, though, because if you still go according to their timeline, that's why if you notice, actually, in Hawkeye, you'll notice it doesn't actually say a year.
This is 3 years after.
But it doesn't say an exact year.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
It says there was a couple of spots where it shows 2020, but it doesn't say 2020 what. Because technically, according to the MCU, it's supposed to be 2025
Yeah.
inside of the MCU. But if you look at like all the things, it all says 202, and then the last number is blocked off.
Which is a smart thing to do because at this point, like, they're kind of saving themselves in a way. But my fear is that Marvel Studios right now, and production has to be on point for this, because if No Way Home is dealing with a lot of timey-wimey stuff, right, you're going to run into the same problem and the same question that you had with Eternals, Nick. Why did the Avengers not realize that there was a massive Celestial in space and no one did anything about it? So now we're going to be discussing if No Way Home is a year or two after everyone comes back, why has it not been mentioned in any other movie or, you know, TV show that came out?
Because they were only back a year before going to Europe.
Yeah.
And
then No Way Home takes place, the events right after No Way Home. I mean, Far From Home. That's the thing.
It starts immediately after No Way.
Or
after
does
Far
it?
From Home.
I think it does.
Are we assuming that it does or that it doesn't?
No,
because
I know that it is because they show the exact same scene that when Peter is taking Mary Jane.
So we're going to ignore all this stuff because now
ignore it.
Well, no, because
it
no,
doesn't
but
matter.
that's frustrating because
it's not.
I can see it being a couple of months after Far From Home.
So
No Way Home.
the reason I'm frustrated now, I'm getting a little bit frustrated at this is because this movie is supposed to be an Avengers-sized movie. This is like the big movie. That's what Marvel Studios is advertising.
This is Endgame status.
This is 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Right? So we're talking about villains from all the Spider-Man movies coming into this one, causing massive chaos. The universe is spiraling out of control.
I imagine that I imagine this being the crossing point. I imagine that the moment that they break the universe and everything is cracking at the very end of this movie, because you see like the purple lines and everything like that, I imagine that is the moment in Loki when they're over with Kang. and they start seeing the lines going. And I also think that is the same point that Wanda is in her cabin, where she then wakes up and she starts hearing her sons.
Yeah.
Because now the worlds are blending and people are coming over from different alternate universes.
Yeah.
Because that only makes sense. Because we were wondering what was the thing that broke the universe. Yeah. Spider-Man.
Oh God, I just thought of something.
But the thing is that, what is it? I think it's like one more time or one more. It's which comic is it? One more time or one moment?
One more day.
One more day.
No, it's one more day, and then there's another one right after it.
Oh, one moment in time. It's the one. I know what you're talking about.
The one moment in time is the one where he goes to Doctor Strange and he does literally exactly the same thing.
It's one more day written better.
That's basically what it is.
It's
Marvel doesn't want to relive the whole it's it's Mephisto.
Because he goes back and he goes like, I want everything else, and then like I don't care who doesn't remember, and then like he sees everybody kind of floating around him, and then he sees Mary Jane and he goes no, and then he grabs Mary Jane and he pulls her into the bubble, and then that's what messes up the entire universe. And then you have like all these things happen.
Yeah,
I can totally see something like that happening, but kind of dumber.
So here's
simpler.
Here's what I thought right now, and this is gonna piss me off if this is true. I'll get mad. If the point in time, let's say that this is literally like a couple, like this is like a year or two after everyone comes back, right?
I'm letting you know.
Hang on.
He does just really quick. He's not gonna break the universe, and the Doctor Strange scene does not happen for 30-45 minutes.
That's fine. What I'm getting at is, every show that we've seen thus far or movie that takes place 5 or so years after everyone comes back does not exist in the same universe in which this is happening. We are actually witnessing events from different timelines. And No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness is explaining that now the timelines have split up, that you're going to get different stories that are not affected by those events. Does that make sense? So so in other words, if you have this is the main timeline, right? This is the sacred timeline that they mentioned, right? Yeah. We're following this, and then we have No Way Home, which then branches out all these different universes all over the place, right? Multiverse of Madness is going to be sticking to the sacred timeline right over here, but then you have Eternals, which takes place on this one. Then you have Hawkeye, which takes place in this one, and then you have Falcon and the Winter Soldier over here.
I think
that's kind of like
I think you're thinking way too much into it.
I am,
because Marvel's not that complicated thinking.
They shouldn't be. No. From a production standpoint, that's a big mess up.
The problem is that's the tricky thing when you get into the multiverse, and also when you start getting into time travel.
The thing is, I think what's kind of screwing up everyone is Internals, because we saw Internals, we saw the events, what led up to it, and where it left off. Where I think for Internals, we really don't need to worry about that until basically Marvel cleans up the multiverse. Until after that. I think that's what it is.
Because I imagine that they're messing with the multiverse for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It
seems like Eternals was just basically like, we're gonna set up these characters so that we know who they are, but then they're gonna set up future movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it takes place in space.
Yeah, that's why it's like
it's not going to deal with Earth anymore.
Yeah.
And we're
I think
effing off to space.
People trying to connect Internals with everything, like, don't worry about Internals. It was just basically that's like Marvel's kind of like preview of like,
relax.
Yeah. It's like
Eternals was not that much to think about.
It wasn't, because it's setting up new characters and Black Knight, and then it set up basically
Blade.
like the Executioner storyline for Internals and stuff like that.
How the Earth still spins.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah. So, I think right now
still bothers me.
Why did the Avengers not come to help out? Well, because they all disappeared in a different timeline, guys. There's your answer.
Because I'm also wondering. But the thing is that you have all these different shows.
Yeah.
Like Hawkeye, you were saying. She-Hulk. When does that take place?
Secret Invasion.
And
they're pushing that because Colby Smulders. I can't pronounce her last name.
Colby Smulders.
Smulders.
Colby Smulders.
She just
Robin
got confirmed for
How I Met Your Mother. Robin.
Yeah. She's confirmed to be in Secret Invasion. They've released stills for Moon Knight, for She-Hulk,
Miss Marvel.
For Miss Marvel. All these different. It's a lot of stuff, and I feel like you are definitely right. You're definitely right. I think people are I'm one of them. There are people overthinking it, and I think we just need to take a seat in the passenger seat and just chill and ride the ride.
I feel that this is that Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man are its own. Think of it as like its own little pocket.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch are all dealing with this issue. all the other heroes are dealing with other stuff. They're dealing with their families. They're dealing with their lives. They're dealing with Namor, whoever. But because they're in this like one little tiny pocket, because I imagine Multiverse of Madness is going to continue right after Far From Home. I mean, No Way Home.
Yeah.
Like minutes. Like wherever No Way Home ends, Multiverse of Madness continues. And then that goes into that. And because they also released that picture from Quantumania. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a broken Ant-Man mask with Kang.
Oh, really?
It's Kang in the reflection. Check it out. It's literally it's a broken Ant-Man mask and Kang's in the reflection. Sick. And he's blue. And Kang's blue. He has the blue and he has the orange hair, everything.
Let me see reveals.
So while he's looking that up, I kind of want to move away from plot thoughts and stuff and predictions.
Oh, that's sick.
Let me see.
Like in the reflection.
That's pretty.
That's
dope.
really cool.
See it?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. You got last thoughts? Because I do want to talk about one more piece of Spider-Man news that was released.
Before we move on, what is your prediction for this movie?
I thought we were saving that for the next couple of
Nick's
issues.
gonna say his prediction.
Yeah, you say yours because
we're gonna.
You and I are gonna be here
next week.
Next week. I will not be. I have a work thing. I have a job.
Oh, yeah, hey, Rene, we're gonna bum it. Yeah, bum it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Bum it up.
Yeah, homeless. Yeah, homeless. God. Having your fiance under an underpass.
What are you talking? Nick, just go.
Anyway, so, all right.
And that's how we get canceled.
So anyway, before I was so really interrupted.
What's your prediction, Nick?
So my prediction for this movie is it's pretty easy. Spider-Man is he's outed. They end up going all over the place, escaping the police, doing everything else. The police aren't able to get him. He's able to kind of like go home. He ends up, when he gets home that night, thinking like, okay, well, obviously I'm safe at home. He gets arrested that night. He doesn't fight back against the police. He's being questioned for the murder of Mysterio, which also, why would that be a jurisdiction in the United States? It's none of their damn business. I killed a man in London.
Out of it.
It's Scotland Yard's problem. It's not your problem. I murdered a man in London.
Get Sherlock on it.
Yeah, get Sherlock on this thing. See Cumberbatch come in with the coat and everything else. Anyway, while he's there, they're looking for a public defender. They end up getting Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox comes in. He's Daredevil. He gets him out, and he's able to get him out on a technicality, basically saying like, "Have you seen any proof that this boy is, Spider-Man?
Yeah.
You have just the word of one." Of one person, and do you have any other proof? And basically, able to get him out.
And they're like, we found his costume in the closet. Have you ever heard of cosplay? He goes like,
well, I mean, because I would imagine that, especially in like an apartment and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, keeping the electrical bill for the nano suit alone must be outrageous. They must think he's
power that. Yeah.
They must think he grows a lot of pot. Like, that's the only thing. Like,
he's convicted of being Spider-Man.
He's not Spider. Like, you mean that pot dealer? It's in 4B. I got runs up my electric bill every month.
Yo, that Parker kid has that good kush.
He's always flying, man. No, so they're able to do that. They don't say that Charlie Cox is that he is Daredevil, but they hint at it. What was it? People attack Peter Parker because they think that he killed Mysterio, basically throwing bricks through his window, and Charlie Cox catches it. Real simple thing of
Daredevil powers.
Daredevil powers. Throws it through the window, catches it, everything else. I think that he's kind of going through it. He's dealing with all these issues. He's going to court. He has to do all these other things. Mary Jane's sticking by him. Then that's why he goes to Doctor Strange, because he's kind of ruining everybody's lives. People are going to jail. Mary Jane's being questioned. Ned's being questioned.
Everyone's technically suffering.
Yeah, like everybody's suffering because of him. So then he goes to Strange. Strange agrees to do this magic. I'm not sure why it's snowing. Because
maybe
it's
like
Christmas.
Cold weather?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It'd be already snowing. That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't know why it's
snowing in New York.
Yeah. I don't know why it's snowing in that.
So keep going.
That show.
Keep going.
In that thing. So anyway, he messes up the timeline. While he's there, he has to still go back to court. When he's going to court on the Queensboro Bridge, he's talking to what was it? He's talking to probably like another public defender or somebody that's helping Charlie Cox, and that's when he gets attacked by Doc Ock and Green Goblin. That's when he starts fighting them off, starts beating them off, trying to defend, the bridge and everything like that. He ends up capturing them. I'm assuming Doctor Strange shows up, captures him, throws him inside of his little prison thing. They then question him, talks about how exactly, all this is going on. He then tells Peter, "Oh yeah, Peter, we gotta capture these guys, send them back to the universe, and they'll die." Peter doesn't agree. He ends up having like a moral dilemma with Doctor Strange, and then boom, you have this whole like mini fight with Doctor Strange, and that's through the mirror dimension. That's everything.
Oh, yeah, that looks cool. That looks pretty.
That looks like a cool little thing. From there, I would imagine that Andrew Garfield shows up somehow. I'm really hoping it's not the dumb way that I heard of like Peter Parker's missing, and he's just like. Peter Parker, and then like literally Andrew Garfield shows up and they're like, "Oh, that's not Peter Parker," and he's like, "I am Peter Parker." That would be so stupid. That would be like really, really dumb if that's how I heard. That's a rumor I heard.
That's a rumor, yeah.
And I really don't like it. And I was like, if that's true, that's lazy. Like
that's the thing. That's the thing. Is
so
like,
lazy.
In order to show like how the Spider-Man show come into our universe, you have to show how the villains came. That's the thing. So
I think that it'd be interesting if you don't see the Spider-Man coming.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's something that you don't need. I feel like if you're fighting Doc Ock and you're fighting everything like that, because number one thing that Spider-Man always does is it doesn't matter where he is, he's going to fight bad guys.
Yeah. I'm going to push you fast forward all the way to the ending. What's going to happen towards the end? Because we still got one more piece we got to talk about.
All right. For the ending, so Andrew Garfield eventually shows up. They start fighting off. They start fighting them off. You kind of have, because Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, they're not too far off in age. So you kind of have that like kind of communal thing where they kind of understand where each other are going. You then, at the very final battle, they're getting the butts kicked. Somehow, some way, they have been outfitted with Stark tech. I imagine Green Goblin figured out that there was like a horde of like Stark tech that they can upgrade their stuff with.
Through Vulture.
Probably through. I don't think Vulture's like involved at all in this movie, because why would you know? How would they know about Vulture?
No, that his stash that he was selling.
It could be his stash. It could be whatever. I mean, however, maybe they just raid a Stark.
Yeah.
Maybe they just raid like a Stark warehouse because they end up looking up where can I find good shit. Yeah. Stuff like that. They Googled it. They're getting their butts kicked, and then literally I think that Andrew Garfield, either Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield is going to die. Or about to die, and then that's how you get the scene. You get the scene where he shows up. Either that, or it's the scene in Feast where Green Goblin blows up Feast. I think that's where you get what was it? Tobey Maguire. He's either going to show up after Feast, or he's going to show up for the final battle, and then they fight him off. I think that they lose control. Multiverse breaks. That's why you have those purple lines in the sky, and the movie's going to end with like a huge downer. I think you're going to have like everybody either get sent to a different universe, and then now they're stuck. Like the universes keep switching back and forth, and then now they're trying to travel back, and that's how the multiverse of madness kind of starts, of like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange being stuck in different universes, and they keep traveling through different universes. And then you have like probably an end credit scene where Venom's sitting on top of like the Empire State Building, and he's like, "I am the new protector of New York," and then that's it.
Lethal protector.
Yeah,
you gotta stop being so excited and dropping and knocking everything down, dude.
I want Tobey Maguire to come into the final fight and say pizza time. And then just like you see American flag behind him, like in the first movie, and he's like walking out.
I want him to capture. I really do want him to capture Green Goblin.
I want Nickelback to play.
I want him to capture Green Goblin in between the Shield and the Statue of Liberty in a web, like he did for the World Trade Center.
Yeah,
where he captures the helicopter. I think that would be hilarious. Yeah, I just think that they're dealing with everybody. I think at a certain point, Doc Ock changes sides.
I feel yeah.
Because Doc Ock isn't in the final battle. He's not there fighting them off.
Yeah.
Because there's only 4 of them at the final battle. It's Lizard, Electro, Sandman, and Electro. Which also I don't understand why Sandman's fighting, because he wasn't actually pissed off at Spider-Man. He was actually like more trying to get Spider-Man's forgiveness, and they kind of made amends. He didn't die.
Well, not even that. That was like
he just went to jail.
He just wanted to get money for his daughter's surgery. That was it.
Yeah. So I don't know why Sandman's fighting. Unless like somebody promised him something of like, hey, I like in this universe, Tony Stark or somebody figured out a cure for your daughter's illness.
There's a pill for that right here. It's yours.
All right, so
but you gotta kill Spider-Man.
The last piece of news.
Ultron.
The last piece of news to mention about Spider-Man is that Sony confirmed, or I think it's like heads, executives, someone in Sony, confirmed 3 more movies that are going to be featuring Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Right.
I'm just going to say this. I don't think it's that big of a, like, I don't think it's that big of a news to kind of be thinking about. And the only reason I think so is because it doesn't say, they're not saying Tom Holland will be the star feature of these next 3 Spider-Man movies. I kind of have a feeling that he's going to be more of like, not a cameo, but like co-starring these movies. And it's going to be setting up the Miles. There it is.
Because they did say that Miles is in the works.
Yes. So I think that they're going to pass the torch pretty soon within these next 3 movies.
But it makes you realize that, like, oh yeah, Marvel knows that Spider-Man's our moneymaker right now.
Oh yeah.
So if it's not Avengers movies, it's Spider-Man.
My question is that what would you do if they were to kind of like snap the multiverse and you find out that Multiverse of Madness, I mean not Multiverse Madness, Into the Spider-Verse's Miles snaps into the MCU.
And you get a live action.
And you get a live action Miles.
Which wouldn't be that bad, but that would mean that, because that's the thing is that they teased that the Spider-Verse 2 news would be coming out pretty soon. They also said that.
Yeah.
We don't know how soon, but pretty soon. I think sometime before the year ends. Be interesting for them to release it during Spider-Man.
There's how exactly do you have a Spider-Verse movie and then you have another Spider-Man movie that also deals with the multiverse, and in no way, shape, or form do they collide or even show like an image of them or something?
Well, that's why we need
They hinted at Miles in Homecoming with Donald Glover's character.
Yeah,
he's
the
Prowler.
He's Prowler,
and he even said like I have a nephew that lives in this neighborhood.
Maybe it's not that Miles, but it's another Miles, like Nick was saying. It's the Spider-Verse Miles Morales that does come out.
I wouldn't be surprised if like that happened, because I also do like the idea of characters snapping into a universe, taking over a body, and then memories blending.
Doesn't
of both people still inside.
I don't think we're going to get Donald Glover in future Spider-Man movies just because he's too big right now. It's not that he's too big that they can't afford him. Marvel can afford anyone.
Are you saying that you don't want to see Donald Glover with the boots?
Oh, yeah, I do.
As Prowler?
But I don't think he'll do it. I do, but I don't think he'll do it.
I think he would.
Why
not?
I think if he was offered, but that's the thing. I think if he was offered to do it, yes. But I think Marvel or Sony don't even have him in mind right now.
No, because didn't the Prowler die in the Spider-Verse?
Yes, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. So it'd be interesting if he does come in and, sees Donald Glover, Prowler. It's like, oh, it's my uncle. I get to see him one more time. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. But like you said, there's 3 more movies. They have plenty of time to introduce.
Well, they said it's a new trilogy. It's a brand new trilogy.
So it's going to be setting up the Miles Morales storyline. And again, we're going to have Tom Holland for the next 3 movies. That's okay. Like, they've already confirmed it. But I don't think it's going to be a Spider-Man Tom Holland movie. I think they're going to be doing it right. And they're going to pass the torch rather than just interrupt it halfway through.
That's what Marvel's doing with the shows right now. They're just hinting at future younger Avengers.
We got Kate Bishop with Hawkeye. We have
Miss Marvel.
Falcon is now the new Captain America. They teased it with Captain America and Falcon.
Well, Isaiah was his name. The character that was a super soldier, but he didn't get any recognition was his name. Isaiah. Isaiah Bradley, his nephew. Or his nephew.
Is he supposed to be like Patriot or something?
Yeah, he's
like
Patriot.
That?
Yeah, he's Patriot.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Patriot, and then I think also because then also you're getting a younger. I mean, not necessarily a younger Hulk, but you're getting a new Hulk.
She-Hulk.
With She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't get a new Hulk, because what's his name? The Cho or something like that.
Adamas Cho.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't be surprised if we got a new if we got a new younger Hulk
That would be cool.
and everything else. Who else?
Moon Knight, Blade.
We also have a brand new Black Widow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a brand new Black Widow who's supposed to be showing up in Hawkeye.
Yeah. We still got like 3 more episodes left.
4.
Four?
Yeah.
Is it 7 or is it 6?
Oh wait, no, it's 3 because the last episode airs on Christmas. So it is 3.
Yeah.
It's only
we got
3
more
episodes.
Which I'm kind of like, I wish we had like a few more episodes. Like
Speaking
8
of Hawkeye.
episodes. Yes.
Good show.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Episode 3 showed like, we put some time into the show, especially that car chase scene was really cool.
So I watched the car chase scene, and I was telling Andy, I'm like,
It's an homage, isn't it?
Huh?
It's an homage, isn't it? To Children of Men.
I don't know.
I think so, because I recently watched Children of Men, and that exactly like how it was.
Because in Children of Men, essentially they do the same thing where it's a single shot.
Yeah.
Where the camera is inside.
Oh, you're talking about the scene where they're like it's rotating around and you see the different people coming through. Yeah.
And then it goes from a steady cam to a freehand cam.
I don't think it's an homage. I just think that it's more of like they've done it here before. Why don't we give it a shot and do it?
Just letting you know, the director did say it was an homage.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Dope.
He said I saw it. He saw it and I loved it.
Then why'd you say I think it is an homage?
Because I wanted you to agree with me so that we can have a conversation.
I'm gonna buy. You know what? TJ Maxx or Marshall sells these little like fluffy snowballs. I'm gonna bring him, and every time Nick says something really dumb, I'm just gonna throw it at him.
I'm the one that said something dumb.
Yeah, you, because you keep saying I think it's an homage. Dude,
listen,
you make me look stupid
because
I'm not.
I'm trying to pitch you a conversation piece, but you obviously didn't.
Anyway,
it's not my fault. You don't do your research.
I feel attacked.
You should. 'Cause I attacked
What did
you.
Brie Larson say again? Is this an attack or whatever?
Is it an attack on me?
Yes.
Anyway, so that scene,
Yes.
I was telling Andy that it's so funny because it's not that it was done poorly. I think for a TV show, it was really fun to watch.
For which one?
The car chase scene.
Okay.
It was really fun to watch for a TV show, but as I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I can totally tell which cars were CG'd, where the cuts were.
Freaking Bryan with
Just throw
I
it.
threw my because like he always does this where we're like that was really cool, yeah, but
I know, but it wasn't bad. Like again,
Are you turning pretentious on us?
no, I'm not.
Because I kind of feel like you are.
I'm not. It was a good, fun scene.
Can we not
I
watch
liked
movies
it.
with you anymore?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm looking at it from a production perspective.
Who
Okay?
cares? It's a good car
I
scene.
care.
It's a good car.
It was a great car
I
chase
put
scene.
time
Okay,
into
then
production.
what does
I
it
have to
care?
notice it.
Look, you want me to be a good director for this brand? Okay, I'm production manager over here. I got to be looking at this stuff and studying it.
Did we make it?
No.
I forgot we made Hawkeye. I totally forgot. I forgot Jeremy Renner was in.
God damn.
Yeah, we
dude.
met
Is he-
the guy.
is he next door?
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah,
next door?
He's next door. Yeah, and then
Is he building?
One of these days,
he's
we're going to
building
be
arrows?
releasing under our production brand.
Yeah.
We're going to release a movie at like the Sundance Festival or something, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then Nick's going to watch it for the first time, and it's going to be really good. People are going to love it. His response is going to be like, "It could have been better." And I'm just going to be like, you know what,
Well,
Nick?
you know
I
what?
swear
I'm better-
to
you
You know what I am?
Brian
You know what I am?
freaking-
I'm a Hispanic parent. That's what it is. I strive for greatness, and that's all I'll accept. You got A? I need an A plus. You get an A plus?
They patted you on the back. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting mine.
You're graduating? How can you make valedictorian? Like,
You got valedictorian? Why aren't you president?
Oh, Marvel picked us up for a project? Why couldn't it have been Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Why aren't you working for the MCU? Right? DC did pick you up? Why'd you leave?
you got best director? Why didn't you get best picture?
I broke this thing.
You did? No,
I
it just
think
pops
so.
off. No, they
There we
pop
go.
off. They're meant to do that. They're meant to do that.
No, but the car chase scene was great.
Yeah,
was
no,
fun.
it was good, yeah.
Here's my question about this whole Hawkeye thing, because we are going to wrap up this podcast pretty soon.
The fact that Hawkeye basically did more damage than any of the jumpsuits. Yes. And how he basically destroyed that bridge.
Yeah,
for
with
no
the giant
terrain.
arrow.
Oh, that was a great scene.
That was
didn't,
cool.
Dude,
Great.
he didn't even shrink it. Somebody now has to come and deal with that before it breaks a bridge.
They're just throwing it out of the
It's a
way.
Queensboro. That's a very popular bridge. A lot of cars are on that
Not
bridge.
to mention, like, how far is the arrow through the bridge? So, like, boats can't even kind of, like, go through there. Like,
We got, look,
How did,
I love
how
how,
did the subway go?
I like how,
It literally went through, and then the
that's-
subway was right underneath it. So, how far is this thing? If it topples, it kills thousands.
So what's funny is that I feel like Phase 4, they're dealing with a bunch of Phase 4, we're moving into space and time, right?
Yeah.
But I also feel like Kevin Feige is like, let's just go big. Let's think big.
Let's go bananas.
Let's just what's the
already
craziest thing we could do here?
People
Big
already
arrow.
know it's damage control that takes care of everything. So let's just throw that away with
whatever, you know?
There better be a episode of Damage Control where they're dealing.
Are
with
they still
the
making
arrow.
Damage Control?
No, probably not.
No one
they
cares.
saw because they saw how the DC one did, and they were just like, yeah, that should nobody watched.
No one
one
cares.
cares.
About that.
Yeah. That movie, that show was actually pretty funny. I like that.
It was a web show, right?
No, it was
No.
on,
It was a TV show.
It was
it was
a
on
CW.
Fox. It
Oh,
was
was
like
it?
on Fox or CW
Yeah.
or something.
Look,
like
what
that.
they need to do is
It was
they need
Fox.
to. They
It was
need
Fox.
It had
to.
Vanessa Hudgens and Daniel
Pudi.
Daniel Pudi and also Alan Tudyk.
What Marvel needs to do is they need to let other smaller productions work on shows like that. Like, listen, Kevin Feige, if he comes up to us, is like, you guys want to make a show called Damage Control?
Bro, he's never gonna do that.
Hey, but look, man, just let the young minds put work into it. We'd make a good Damage Control show.
Listen,
I think.
I'm telling you,
right? Yeah.
yeah, probably. But anyway,
I'll
Yeah,
definitely get greenlit for season 2. Yeah.
at least 2
Hey, look,
seasons.
as long as we get a season 2, that's fine.
2 seasons.
Damage Control brought to you by Keeping Up with the Nerds production, dude.
But it's a thing we could do. Anyway, so no, but the thing also
if Tom Holland can manifest things by saying it, we can too.
my thing is that I don't know why when I watch things I don't care. Like honestly,
The
like
technical stuff.
like the technicality. Because I thought about it afterwards when I was
Yeah.
like, that was a really cool episode.
Yeah.
He totally screwed that bridge. Like that bridge is gone.
I didn't even think about that.
People are
Yeah,
just
like-
murdered.
Like he
Some
killed-
people died.
How I also thought about it too of like how is it that none of the tracksuits died from what happened? Like
Hey,
a car
bro,
a
they're,
car
they're,
blew
they're
up.
invincible, bro.
Dude, there was a car that it blew up. Like Kate Bishop murdered several people. And
Forget the bell. Forget the bell she toppled. She blew up a car.
She
Yeah.
literally murdered like at least a good 5 people.
That just-
And then she was just like, I'm a hero. And I was like, some Arrow stuff right now.
So recently, I told you guys, because of the new Spider-Man movie, I've had Mandy watch the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
You know, and so then we watched Amazing Spider-Man 2, the opening scene when he's chasing down the Paul Giamatti's character. And
Rhino.
he's like going through the trucks and cars and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, you mean the fact that he makes like 10 jokes instead of stopping the bad
Yeah,
guy?
it's just, the whole time she's like, all those cars, he's not saving those people. He's just stuck on the truck. You know?
Have you guys not read
he
comic
takes
books,
a
man?
phone call.
Yeah.
He takes a phone call
Yeah.
and he goes, yeah, what's up? I'm not busy.
No, but yeah. He's like, are those sirens? No. Like, she
Says
did
he's
like
bashing through
Yeah.
these cars.
she did like the chemistry of like Andrew Garfield.
But you know
and
what?
Emma Stone.
I will say this: the Spider-Man game did that right. Because there are moments where
Oh,
he's
yeah.
swinging through the city,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like he gets a phone call. It's like, what's going on? He's like, nothing. I'm just, swinging by.
Yeah.
It's all good. They'll do that, which is, I mean, it's a Spider-Man
I'm
thing
not
that
gonna
it's
lie,
just
it's-
destruction,
it's-
and he just doesn't care. He's just like, I can't do anything about it.
It is something that I do miss, that I wish Tom Holland Spider-Man would do, because I kind of make it. I think it's hard to believe because you know the scene where he's getting FaceTimed, and then he pulls out his phone
Yeah.
to answer it. What is it, Spy Kids?
Yeah.
Like the scene where Machete gives him like this like giant wristwatch, and he's like has everything but a phone in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No time. No time. It was a watch.
Yeah, it doesn't have. But so
There was no
I
room
have
for the clock.
So hold on, wait. So you're telling me I have a Spidey suit that has kill mode, that has instant kill mode,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have a cell phone.
it doesn't have Bluetooth capability
It
to
doesn't
like
have-
answer for
to
me.
answer a phone to me. Go, yeah, what's up? To like fly through the air. That's just unbelievable. Like I get Andrew Garfield having to pick it up because he built his own suit. Like that's expensive. Stark built his suit.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a screen should pop up in front of his face while he's web
Yeah.
swinging, and then just gotta go like,
Google thought of it first.
He
with
even
Google
put a
Glass.
heater in his suit too.
oh, it's a dryer.
Yeah.
It's a dryer. Yeah.
including his heater. He's all like,
So Hawkeye, I think what baffles me the most is that I went into this show kind of having some anticipation that it was going to be cool because of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, they've all been pretty good bangers.
yeah.
And then the first 2 episodes come out of nowhere. I was kind of surprised because I didn't think, I completely forgot about it. They
Yes.
just advertised it about a month and a half ago and they forgot about it.
That's the thing. I remember seen a trailer, I think like a month before this was going to come out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I forgot that when it was going to come out. And then these reviews come out and everyone's just like, yeah, just whatever. It's a 5 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. IGN. Well, I mean, again, who pays attention to IGN?
I don't.
Yeah, exactly. No one does. But I felt like a lot of reviewers are being harsh on it. I can understand why. Because in the 3 episodes so far, Andy said something that was kind of funny to me. Mm-hmm. She said she doesn't like these cliffhanger endings. Which, I mean, I get it because WandaVision and Loki and all of them kind of had similar endings like that. But I feel like these are leaving us with more questions and we just have to wait till the next episode to kind of...
You're going to hate Game of Thrones then.
Oh, yeah. But Game of Thrones is all done.
Like,
but I feel like
Game of Thrones, man.
Here's the problem I see with this. I feel like a lot of people that are watching Hawkeye are not familiar with Kate Bishop or Hawkeye's history to
true.
Understand why they're leaving it at certain points.
Instead of what is it, the Age of Ultron movie, that's the only, we haven't had any other kind of backstory to Hawkeye.
No,
or a focus on him, because in Avengers 1 he was brainwashed and that was it. Mm-hmm. Avengers 2 they're like, okay, well Josh Whedon's like, let me put more backstory to him and stuff like that. And then Avengers 3 obviously he was gone, and then Endgame we found him in like after the first 40 minutes.
We know he was Ronin.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Where is he in 3?
In 3, remember he was in Civil War, but they threw it off of like Clint's with his family because of the...
He's under house arrest.
He's under house arrest.
He's under house arrest and doesn't show up until 4 when he... what was it?
When everyone gets snapped, yeah.
When he's Ronin. Okay.
So for me,
it hasn't been so
because that's also the same reason why Ant-Man's not there.
Yeah,
because Ant-Man's also under house arrest, and then when you go to Ant-Man the movie, he's under house arrest.
We are aware of Hawkeye, but we don't get a full spread of him.
Yeah, exactly.
To justify a show, but they still give him a show. What I liked, if anything, I thoroughly enjoyed the Hawkeye series because I've read that storyline that they're basing it on, which is the Matt Fraction run. And it's super funny. It's super great. One in particular, obviously, the change-up is Kate Bishop's background, but then also how Clint is a character in the show. Because in the comic book, he is not married or he doesn't have kids. He's a womanizer, so he's constantly just kind of like, he's very little crude, but not to the point where he's
the
like...
one that lives in that apartment. The apartment that burned down is supposed to be
that's supposed to be his. And but that's the thing, they ran with what they have and they actually make it really good. I love that they made him slightly deaf in this series.
They gave him a reason, which is cool because it's like, oh, why does he have a hearing? He never did. Oh, they referenced all the explosions.
I love that edit cut. It
was
like, so why do you have a hearing aid? Like, what happened? Oh, it's kind of hard to pinpoint when it happened.
Bang! That makes sense.
Yeah.
You think
they really humanized him? Like,
he probably lost his hearing.
If he doesn't like have physical damage, obviously he would have internal hearing damage. Like,
so what's really great about this series, and I mean, we're going to talk about it more in depth once it's all done.
Yeah.
But I feel so far the show's doing a really great job at giving us an inside look at Hawkeye's personality and characteristics. Because
that's right, he was the only one that wasn't in a suit.
No, he wasn't, and they referenced that as well because
Ant-Man shrank. What was it? Rhodey was inside the Iron Man suit. What was it? He had a shield. I think Stark just had a shield on him, right?
Yeah. That's right. In Endgame, he goes like this to him because he has his armor on, but he gets the shield and just goes to Clint.
Yeah, he like covers Clint, and then Clint's like looking around, going like, "Well, if anything bad happens, I'm dead."
Yeah,
like that's just what's gonna happen.
I love the little reference they do in episode 3 where it's like, "Oh, it's branding. You got to brand yourself better." And then she draws the Hawkeye costume. Yeah, and I'm like, "That's the costume. Yeah. That's so great." Make it purple. Huh?
Did you see it in LARP?
Oh, yeah, someone was wearing it.
Yeah, someone was wearing. Yeah. So they did the OG costume purple, and then they said, "Oh, we can do it in black," and I'm like, I know that. So it's cool because you got your little references if you know here and there. Right. But it's not a popular comic book like series, or he's not a popular comic book character.
They also reference Green Arrow, which was really funny.
Because
he goes like maybe a hood.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Maybe we can put like a purple hood on you. And I was like, oh, Green Arrow. That's funny.
But it's so funny because I feel like a lot of people are not familiar with Hawkeye, and it's frustrating a lot of people because now they're like, why does this show like it's a low rated show because it ends in a certain way and it's not giving us exactly what we want. And I'm like, dude, if you just shut up and wait, you'll understand and you'll appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Andy is on this boat where she said, I wish we could have just watched this in its entirety and not have to wait every week.
I do feel that if it was like a Netflix show that dropped all of them at once, like Daredevil,
Bam, higher rated.
it would have been way higher rated. And because I feel like this is the type of show that should have been like that. Like Loki, I kind of understand doing.
Everyone grew up with Loki. Everyone loved Wanda. Everyone knew who Falcon and who the Winter Soldier is. We all grew up with them. But Hawkeye is like here and here and here and here. Here's your show.
Because you have momentum. Because the thing is that those episodes, they have a lot of momentum, and then they make you want to go in to the next episode.
Yeah.
And it leaves you with that cliffhanger of going like, oh, next episode, please. And then it's like, we'll come back next week.
Yeah.
And then you'll get your next episode. And that's fine. I'm okay with having to wait for another episode. I'm probably gonna rewatch it to kind of get like that full 6 hour kind of thing of like, because it together it probably plays great.
Yeah.
I just think that that's the only problem. It's killing the momentum.
Yeah, it's because it ends very like, it doesn't necessarily end in a cliffhanger. It mostly ends abruptly. Where in the episode 3, you just see Clint walking through the hallways, and then just see the swordsman, because that guy. Yeah, he just kind of just like, what are you doing here? And then that's it. It's over. Like there's no like.
You've reached the top of the roller coaster, and you got to wait until next week for it to drop, and then you're gonna reach another top, and then it stops.
I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it.
Yeah.
They know each other.
Swordsman and Ronin. Yeah,
probably
that makes sense.
Because in the comic books, that was his mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's where they left it off then, before they even see like eye to eye.
Yeah, before they even see who he is. And I'm pretty sure he goes by a different name. Like every single time she keeps on referring to him as Armand or whatever his name is.
So
he was going as a different name, and Clint doesn't recognize it.
That would be really interesting. Yeah. Like during the snap, like after the snap, they like found each other, and then that's how he became Ronin, and that's how he became like a good swordsman and stuff like that.
I just think that'd be so funny if like the sword to his throat, and he's like, he goes, I thought I did recognize my blade. Of realizing it's actually not Ronin's sword, it's his blade.
Yeah.
And then you see like this like thing of like, it's been a while since.
Is his name the swordsman?
Yeah, that's the guy, the swordsman.
The name of the character is the swordsman, but I think it's Armand something, like the actual character.
So we got a couple minutes left before we wrap up this issue, but I think the biggest hit to the show, and why it's not doing so well with the public, is that the media is not doing the show any favors. There's a lot
doing so well with the public.
I feel like people are
everybody I talk to likes it.
Yes,
that's the thing.
If you talk to people, people will like it. The internet, being the internet, is just being stupid. Yeah, they're all hating. Exactly, the internet's gonna hate everything, and when they hate something, they really hate it.
The internet hated the Mandalorian for the Ahsoka Tano episode.
Whatever, they were dumb. Anyways, so
this is the sword.
Okay, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so cool. So way to
blow him off, dude.
No, I saw it from the corner of my eye. I got to get back to it because we're running out of time. The media.
You are running out of time.
Oh my god, the media is kind of like doing this thing where it's like, we know certain things are being played out, and they're kind of going like, oh, well, is this and all this stuff, and it's not doing it any favors because most of the public doesn't know who certain characters are.
That's true.
They don't know who the Tracksuit Mafia is. They don't know who Echo is, and this show just kind of like dumped it in there. Is Echo a bad person? The show kind of makes it seem like it, but it's also like she's not really, but she is, and it's like we don't know. And the Tracksuit,
like Loki at this point,
exactly.
That's
so
how she is.
No, but she is a great counterbalance to Kate Bishop, though.
Yeah, no, that is
because essentially her and Kate Bishop had kind of like the same upbringing, but one was for good, one was for bad.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously Echo was inspired by the Kingpin, and what was it? And Kate Bishop was inspired by Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So, boom, there you go. Like, Echo is really dope. She's gonna get her own show. I'm pretty sure we're gonna probably see her in like the finale. I don't think you're gonna see much of Echo anymore.
Until her show.
And then I don't even know what her show's gonna be about.
Yeah. There's no rumors about it anywhere.
Unless the show is to hunt down Kingpin, which would be sick.
And the media is saying, hey, you know what? Who's the uncle, guys? Why did... It's
Uncle Ben.
He grabs her cheek. With great power comes great responsibility.
If you can hear me.
It's so look. If it's not Kingpin, what a mess up.
No, it is.
It has to be.
It has to be,
No,
but that's
'cause people-
It's the freaking suit, dude. It's the big grubby hands and the black,
Big,
really nice
big.
suede suit.
He even has
And
his
big, meaty
his
hands.
His
Gomer Pyle.
his cufflinks are also there too, and then not only that, but also people have taken the audio out. So they've clipped the audio, and then they ripped out the music. They ripped out the other audio. that was
Stop
in
hitting the
background.
mic.
I can't help it. It's just there. They clipped everything else out, and they just played because he laughs. He gets
Yes, it's what's the actor's name?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
It's him. It
And-
has to be.
No, but it was funny though because there's a YouTuber on that literally got it. They got that audio, and then they put Vincent D'Onofrio laughing in Law and Order, and they played him.
It's the same or what?
It's the same. And they were like, "Oh, it's Vincent D'Onofrio." Like that's who it is.
Before we do our last thoughts on Hawkeye, I had a funny interaction with one of my coworkers where because he just started watching Daredevil on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's so funny that there's still kind of this thought process where they don't feel like Daredevil and Iron Fist and all these other Netflix shows are not in the same universe as the MCU when they clearly are.
It's weird how
and
people
I'm like,
think
why
that.
do you think this? It's like clearly in the first episode of Daredevil, they showcase front and center a poster of a newspaper clip that says the alien invasion in New York. And his thought process was, he's a great guy, by the way. He's a great guy. No, it's just, for me, it just mentally it just didn't connect.
He doesn't question.
It
I
just-
question. No.
You know, he was like, oh, but, that could have been taken out of reference and, it was probably from a different snippet
in
or
Luke
whatever.
Cage, they talk about the destruction of Harlem.
But somehow,
They talk about the Hulk destroying Harlem.
They reference Captain America. Yeah, like Foggy says, "Oh, you could put wings on me, but it doesn't make me Captain America."
Somehow, there's still people out in the universe, out in this world, where they think that this is not a part of this, and that's such a frustrating thing. I'm like, dude, you cannot be. It could not be any more obvious.
I do get customers that don't know anything about comic books, and they do believe that like Batman and Spider-Man are in the same universe.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Final thoughts on Hawkeye. Let's
hold
just
on.
go ahead. No,
Wait,
we're not talking about
You
that.
look
We're
up-
not
hold
talking
on.
about that.
If you look up Batman, Spider-Man, and then they show up on the front of a cover, they're in the same universe, bro. Like, but look it up. I can tell you right now. Look up Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like that
Batman
one episode
comic.
where Naruto does the Kamehameha
Naruto.
on what's his name? Whatever, Luffy from whatever. I don't know. One Piece.
What the heck?
I don't know what his
Luffy?
name is. Luffy, there you go.
Luffy.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
not a weeb. So
What
I
are you
would
talking I know. Well, you brought
What's your
up
final
anime.
thoughts on what's your
Dude,
final thoughts on
you
Hawkeye?
brought up anime. and
Hey,
I
what's your
know
final
it.
thoughts?
Good show,
Renee, what's your final thought on Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, I like it. I like it as much as I do right now for Loki right now. And Loki's my favorite Marvel show.
Okay.
Out of Disney Plus at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Gotcha.
them both.
What do you mean you like them both? We're talking about Hawkeye. What both?
Oh, Loki and
No, but what are your thoughts on Hawkeye?
it's good.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's not over yet.
That's the thing, yeah. But as of right
It's
now,
not, as of right now, it's good. But I mean, like,
it's not my favorite, but I'm liking it. I'm
liking it. I want to see. I want to watch it every week. I can't wait until we get that final dun dun, and
Ba-bum.
which is gonna be great because I want the Law and Order music to play and Vincent D'Onofrio to walk in.
Dun, dun, dun,
Because
dun.
because his version of Law and Order was in New York as well, so it's ba 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 da da.
So I will say that Hawkeye had a very, very slow start, and it wasn't until episode 3 that I really started liking it because there were no arrows.
What do you mean?
Like there was no.
Oh yeah.
There was none until like episode 3.
No.
And I got really excited when he started shooting arrows at people and they were stabbing people. And I'm like, yes.
But the thing is
That's what I wanted to see.
The thing is that's what I wanted to see, and I was happy that they didn't show any arrows because when I got to the point where they started showing arrows, I was really enjoying it. Because I was like, we haven't seen Hawkeye
love the
in his
little.
element.
Yeah.
backward shot and the hand pierces through, and I'm like, yes.
Well, I was waiting for the trick arrows. That's the whole point that I like.
I just want arrows stabbing through people. That's what I like.
No, I like trick arrows.
They also referenced what was it? They referenced Green Arrow again because they said the boxing glove arrow.
Yeah.
Like what are these?
I want to see a boxing glove arrow.
What? One of these have a boxing glove in it,
Yeah.
and then and he just kind of laughs.
One of the great things I like about the comic book was that he had a boomerang arrow, and the whole time everyone's like, why do you have a boomerang arrow? That's most like the useless arrow you could ever have. And he uses it on the Tracksuit Mafia, and it works. And he catches it, and he goes, boomerang arrow! and just drives off.
I'm not gonna lie, I want that scene. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah. Was the USB arrow an homage to
from Avengers 1? Yeah. No, that was from Avengers 1. Yeah, so, he used a USB arrow.
She goes, why do you have a USB arrow? Because in Avengers 1 he shoots the USB, and then it sticks, and then that's how he downloads the virus.
That's right.
That's how he downloads the virus. But actually, it's not even a USB. It's like a little.
Yeah, it was like an Ethernet kind of.
It's like an Ethernet thing, but yeah, it still works.
What in this universe?
Like
here's the thing: in this universe, they're still using USB-A and not USB-C. That's dumb.
You just said something that went over my head.
Slower data transfer. If I'm trying to be sneaky, I need fast data going as fast as possible.
Port is big rectangle. USB-C is port small oval.
Not only that, but also.
What do you think? What is the show about, Rene? Huh?
Well, the funny thing is that because he's right. Because if you have USB-A and then you pull that arrow wrong. You're gonna break the USB, like because it'll bounce right off. It'll just because they won't match up, and then it just bounces right off, and you're like, so every single time he pulls that arrow to shoot it, he's got to go.
So guys,
hold up, is it up or down?
Is it up or down?
I didn't think about that until you said it. It's like there's a right way to connect it. Wow, that must suck.
Could you imagine him like getting binoculars and going? Is that thing up or down?
So he's going through his.
Is it up or down?
He's going through his quiver.
Because C would make sense. Because C you can do either way.
USB-C.
Because C you can do either way. It's smaller, it's thinner, and everything else. But the bigger one, you're like, oh.
Hawkeye has the data transfer using lightning port.
Yeah.
Dang it! I don't have the lightning. I don't have a lightning port.
I would laugh so hard if he just turns to Kate. He's like, oh, you got a converter? You have a converter on this? I didn't realize they used Apple. I don't have anything for Apple. I love my converters at home.
Sorry, we can't. He doesn't have access to lightning ports because, or the lightning port because Apple doesn't distribute their parts. So
what you're saying is that the foil to a Master Spy is buy Apple,
buy Apple products,
buy Apple products, and make sure that they have all Apple connectors.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then when he comes, he's like,
their iPhones don't have
USB-A, USB-C, USB-B. Dang it, man! Micro USB. Ah, dang it! I can't.
Thunderbolt. Dang it!
And then like watch, he gets all prepared and stuff like that, and he goes into like a facility, and it's like he goes like floppy.
kind of ancient ass.
That's how we end the issue. That's it. We're gonna wrap up the issue there. Yeah. That was great.
Is that how he got when he got to Russia? Yeah. When he got to Russia, he was like, "Oh, floppy disks." What the? Zemo's undefeatable. How do I get rid of floppy disks?
All right, guys. With that said, we're gonna wrap up issue number 76. That was great.
What you don't know is he has a floppy arrow.
Right? He's like, this one was always in the back of my quiver.
Dude, I would
call me an idiot.
I would laugh so hard. He like, you know, he snaps the bow. He snaps an arrow and it becomes a floppy.
So we're going to wrap up issue number 76, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to this issue. Just a reminder, you guys can find us on keepingupwiththenerds.com for all the up-to-date information. Interviews from our guests will be uploaded there by the time this issue does come out. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for just to keep up with us and letting you guys know when certain videos and podcasts are going to be coming out as well. You guys can find us on YouTube if you're listening to this on audio platforms, Keeping Up with the Nerds. There we will be uploading all our skits, the video portions of these podcasts, as well as exclusive videos you won't find anywhere else. Mini casts, if you guys want to know when those are coming out, also on keepingupwiththenerds.com under the Nerdy Planet section of the website. Also find us on all your audio platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Podbean if you guys like what you guys heard here. With that said, once again, guys, thank you so much for all the downloads, all the support. We read your guys' messages and comments. Please let us know what you guys think. DM us on Instagram, comment on our YouTube videos, comment on Podbean, whatever it takes, guys. Let us know. We want to try to improve, especially within the new year. We have tons of things planned out for you guys as well, so let us know. And I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys once again. Nick, take it away.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 76. My name is Nick Valero.
This is Bryan.
Rene.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier. We want to thank everybody for listening to this issue, and hope to see you all next time.